Otkako je 1997. u centru GSI, Centru za proučavanje teških jona u Njemačkoj u Darmstadtu, tada eksperimentalnom metodom izliječeno 440 otpisanih pacijenata koji su svi bolovali od kancera glave i vrata, hadronska terapija kancera dobila je 4 svoje klinike u Europi. 2 se nalaze u Njemačkoj, 1 u Austriji, a 1 u Italiji. Protoni i teški joni efikasnije uništavaju ćelije tumora nego rendgenski zraci, jer izazivaju višestruke prekide u DNK ćelija kancera, uništavajući i one tumore koji su otporni na konvencionalno zračenje. Također, terapija teškim česticama je izuzetno precizna i selektivna. Energija se oslobađa tačno na mjestu gdje se nalazi tumor, pa dolazi do ciljanog uništavanja ćelija kancera, dok zdrava tkiva ostaju sačuvana. Zahvaljujući ovome, protoni i teški joni efikasni su kod tumora koji se ne mogu operisati zato što su blizu nekog vitalnog organa, a i dragocjena su terapija kod osjetljivih pacijenata kao što su trudnice i djeca. Eksperti za terapiju protonima i teškim jonima, koja je poznata i pod nazivom hadronska terapija, okupili su se nedavno u Crnoj Gori, u Podgorici, na godišnjem sastanku velikog međunarodnog projekta Hitri Plus. Projekat okuplja vodeće evropske centre za terapiju teškim jonima, akademske institucije, istraživačke laboratorije i industrijske partnere s ciljem stvaranja snažne panevropske istraživačke zajednice u oblasti hadronske terapije. Također uključuje i zemlje jugoistočne Europe kroz SEIST inicijativu koja teži razvijanju nove generacije istraživačke infrastrukture u našem regionu. U Podgorici je boravio i dr. Sandro Rosi, direktor italijanske klinike za hadronsku terapiju KNAO.
Professor Rosi, you have coordinated Hitri Plus since 2021. Let's say that Hitri Plus is an European Commission funded project integrating medical research and biophysics to advance heavy ion therapy. What are the main goals of Hitri Plus?
So Hitri Plus is a project that has been financed by EU in 2021. Is a 5 years project, so we are entering in the last year of the project, and we have the pleasure and the occasion to be here in Podgorica for having our annual meeting and also a workshop in which we present the activities related to hadron therapy with heavy ions. Hitri Plus is a project that is participated by more than 20 partners from 14 European countries, SEIST being one of the participants, the partners, and also Sanja Damjanovic is the head, the chairperson of the General Assembly that is participated by all the partners of the project. So the goals of this project is first of all to create a network among the hadron therapy centers with heavy ions in Europe. Second, to open these facilities to the community of research and also clinics. And third, to develop new research, new activities that would be profitable for the existing centers, but also for the future centers. And in particular, we want to have a new design that maybe can be realized here in the southeastern part of Europe, in the countries that are interested and are collected around the SEIST project.
You have been Director General of KNAO since 2008. KNAO is one of the 4 clinics in Europe which are treating cancer patients with heavy ion therapy. What is KNAO's, so to say, overall mission about?
The KNAO facility, KNAO is an Italian acronym that stands for National Center for Oncological Hadron Therapy, is located in the northern part of Italy. And KNAO has been created and financed by the Italian Health Ministry, with the idea to introduce these kind of modalities for the treatment of these rare cases that I was mentioning before, and also to perform research to improve the situation. So we are a modality added to other modalities for treating cancer. eligible cancer has been defined by the Italian Health Ministry. Among them we have pediatrics, we have chordomas, sarcomas, head and neck tumors. In general, tumors that are close to critical organs when you want to be precise, or tumors where you want to be effective because they are radio-resistant, so they don't react to conventional radiotherapy. So far we have treated more than 5,000 patients, half with protons, half with carbon ions. Of course, this is our first goal. We have a second pillar, as we call in our activities, and this is research. So we have, together with other partners, in particular the National Institute of Nuclear Physics in Italy, we created a room fully devoted to research. And every year we deliver beam time. Last year, for example, more than 500 hours of beam time to different groups coming from also around Europe and the world. And they come there, ask beam time for performing researches and developments. And in this respect, ISTRAŽIVAČ has also given resources to allow external groups to come to our facility like the other facilities in Europe. And then the third pillar is what we call formation. So we have launched 3 years ago, we are entering in the 4th cycle, a PhD course with the local university on innovations and technologies and socialities around the item of heavy ion therapy, carbon ion therapy, hadron therapy in general. So also we receive a lot of students, and this is also something important because you need to create the interest of the novel generation around these modalities. So these are the activities going on in Italy, with the support of the Italian Health Ministry and in general of the community of research and hospitals that are around our project.
Kako bi teški ioni pogodili tumor sa izuzetnom preciznošću, oni se ubrzavaju u specijalno za to sagrađenim akceleratorima. Klinika KNAO počiva, kao i svi bolnički centri za hadronsku terapiju, na veoma složenoj akceleratorskoj infrastrukturi koju nije bilo jednostavno sagraditi. Taj proces je dugo trajao, u njega je bio uključen veliki broj kompanija, pa je izgradnja centra imala i ekonomski uticaj na sjeverni dio Italije.
Let's say that these complex infrastructures such as KNAO often have an important economic aspect. What is KNAO's economic impact like?
We have in general, when we speak of hadron therapy, to distinguish between two, let's say, big modalities or technologies, I would say. One is for proton therapy. So this is the lightest ion. Nowadays there are vendors, it's a commercial, let's say, product available on the market. You can buy if you have money. When we deal with the multi-ions facility like a KNAO, like the one that we wanted to build in Seist, this is a different, let's say, technology. It's a technology that is not really present on the market at the moment, and where you need really to create somehow a network, or you need to create, let's say, a structure to build it. It's more or less like a prototype, maybe a bit more advanced because the technology is quite known, but still you need to involve a lot of companies. So what happened in KNAO when we built, basically we created a strong group, a core group of people, so competence is of course important. Around these people there were collaborating institutes that were putting competent people to help in the definition of the different system, and this group was in charge of the design of the facility, was in charge of the procurement phase, was in charge of the follow-up of the realization of the different system, and there were something like 600 companies that were working for the project. And out of these 600, 500 were Italian, and 350 roughly were in a radius of 100 kilometers around the center. So you see, you have to think that the investment is huge, is not negligible, but still is most of the money is spent locally. For sure, the building and the conventional plants, you need a local builder, but also for the high technology. So this means that really you have a byproduct out of the creation of such a center that is a local growth of competence, local growth in industries, and this is turning out also to have, of course, side effects on the overall, let's say, environment around the center, and this is very important also during the running phase, because you have maintenance, you have a continuous investment, you have upgrades that you can perform if you have the competence inside or nearby you to improve the machine. That is not a static choice done once forever, but is something that evolves, and in these days, for example, today also in particular, we have seen many talks during the workshop in which it has been outlined the possibility to improve many parts of the process of the treatment. For example, just think to imaging associated with a tumor. The capability to improve the understanding of the form, of the composition of the tumor, and impact in a different way using different ions, for example, on the treatment of the tumor itself. So it's really a big industry that you are creating, not a simple product in which you put money and then his money is lost, but is a creation of industrial interest, creation of capacity building for the personnel, and of course for clinics and research. At present, in CNAO, we have 170 employees, and they are belonging to 19 different disciplines. So we are ranging from accelerator physicists, engineers, and in the other extreme we have radiation oncologists. And in between we have bioengineers, radiobiologists, we have administrative personnel, we have different kind of nurses, clinicians, technicians that are following the different part of the facility. So it's really a spectrum of competencies. That's also why, on one side, this gives you the feeling of the complication of this process. It's not something that you just buy and then it runs by itself. But on the other side is also giving you the beauty of the complexity and the possibility for many different professionals to be involved in the center.
Svi ovi usko specijalizovani profesionalci predano rade na liječenju pacijenata odabranih za hadronsku terapiju kancera. Za zračenje se najčešće koriste teški joni ugljenika koji precizno pogađaju tumor, oslobađaju veliku energiju baš u njemu, maksimalno čuvajući okolno zdravo tkivo. Zbog ove preciznosti pacijenti imaju manje neželjenih efekata.
Let's say that heavy ion therapy is not cheap. Could you tell us a few details on economic sustainability of clinical centers such as CNAO?
Yes, you're right. I mean, it's not a cheap therapy. First of all, at least I describe what happens in Italy. For the patient, this is fully free. I mean, the state is fully reimbursing the treatment, so the patient is not paying at all. And this is important because the more than 5,000 patients treated so far, that was for them was really free. Of course, the investment for this health system is not negligible, but if you compare the cost of the reimbursement of such treatments in all with respect to the investment in pharma, this is nothing. This is really negligible with respect to the social cost of new pharmaceuticals. If we compare relatively in single treatments, we are cheaper, for example, that chemotherapy for heavy leukemia. So this is not out of the world, I would say. And in addition to that, we have also to consider one thing, that more often, very often, the fact that we have better results than conventional radiotherapy is going to reduce the extra cost due to follow-up of the patient. Because once the patient is not treated completely, then the problem is coming up again. And of course, you have other costs associated with morbidities, with toxicity, with new treatments that the patient need to undergo in order to, because it has not been successfully treated at the beginning. So comparing these things, it turns out that it's convenient to have such a center. And this is something important to be said. Concerning the reimbursement fees, in Italy we have the state has defined the reimbursement fee for the full course of the treatment within a certain kind of pathologies. So they have defined which are the pathologies that would profit best of precision and radio efficacy of these kind of treatments, and within that list of 10 pathologies we have a reimbursement fee that is covering our cost for the treatment.
Professor Rosi, Center KNAU has treated thousands of patients so far, among them many children. How do you perceive KNAU's mission when it comes to pediatric patients?
Yes, children is, look, I was an accelerator physicist. I'm now dealing more with human resources and personnel, being the Director General of KNAU. But when I enter KNAU and I see parents with a child in treatment, and when I see, when the doctors come to me and tells we succeeded in treating this patient, young patient, even we treated 18 months old. So you see that really this facility is giving something to the community, because really this is physics applied and giving answers to patients, to people. And so I feel motivated to continue, and this is really enriching very much all of us. And so pediatric is, on one side, is difficult to stand, is difficult to accept often why that young is sick, has this kind of tumors, very often very difficult cases, and on the other side you are motivated because you can give a hope to them. So pediatric is for sure one of the indications, and this is due to the fact that these particles are very precise. In particular, pediatrics, we use protons because they hit the target and they save the healthy tissues around. And so in doing this, they really lower very much the risk of secondaries, the toxicities. So that's why pediatrics are eligible patients. And of course, because we have children, and to give them the hope for the future is compensating any effort.
Ovakvi tretmani mogli bi se raditi i u centru SEIST, koncipiranom kao institut za biomedicinska istraživanja, koji bi dijelom bio i klinika za hadronsku terapiju kancera za jugoistočnu Evropu.
I think that SEIST is a very important occasion for this part of Europe. It's a project. The aim is to create a center for hadron therapy with two, let's say, main goals: to deliver clinical treatments to patients collected in the region. Of course, those patients that are eligible for hadron therapy. So we are not talking of the cure, the treatment, but we are talking of a special treatment that is effective for some selected case, rare case of patients, of tumor patients. So this is the first goal. The second goal is also to have a center in which we can perform research on many domains around heavy ions, for example, detector developments, radiobiology, but also interesting for industries because you can apply the ions to verify, for example, the radiation hardness of electronic components for space technologies. So this project could be really a new dimension to collect all the countries around this project, to create a network among hospitals for the collection of the patient, and also to avoid brain drain, because locally we can concentrate expertise and also allow the young students, the young people to be around this project, to grow around this project. So this is one of our goals in ISTRAŽIVAČ, and hopefully this occasion of being here is also triggering and motivating for this interest.
Yesterday, when addressing SEIST, you stressed the importance of big personalities and their contribution. Why is this so important?
Yeah, I think that they are. It's always like that in physics or in general in clinics. In the domain in which there are evolution, that there are people that see things before others, and they are also strong enough in terms of reputation, in terms of really their role in the society, that they can really point to the others the direction. And for example, this happened to us with Ugo Amaldi. That was really starting the idea to have a center in Italy in the early 90s. Took 10 years to make the break, to convince became Minister of Health Umberto Veronese, well-known oncologist in Italy, that was convinced by Ugo and funded the CNAU Foundation and gave the money, and we started. And Ugo spoke yesterday and is still very, very active. These personalities are crucial to really to steer the others and to provoke and promote the action of the others. Here, Sanja Damjanovic did a good job when launched SEIST, still active, together with Ugo again, Hans Specht, that was the former scientific director of GSI. Also, Erwin Schopper was a personality in this domain. So these big men and women, these are the ones that really can be the motor behind an evolution, behind a movement, and they are fundamental. But of course, then you need to create. They are also great if they are capable of creating the network, the young people around, the structure that then continue and realize and build in the day by day these kind of complicated infrastructures and facilities.
Postojeći evropski centri velika su naučna i stručna podrška ideji osnivanja instituta SEIST, koji bi za balkansku zajednicu značio veliki razvojni iskorak i u nauci i u medicini.
To me, if I would think to driving concepts where selecting the place, of course we should look at places in which there is already a tradition in radiation therapy, in oncology, so we need to build such a facility close to a center that has or really strong connected with a center or a network of centers that has already a capability of irradiation, oncology, radiotherapy, conventional radiotherapy, advanced, IMRT and this kind of stuff. So if we think to have it in Montenegro, anyway, this should be really within a network. A network, I would say even a double or triple network. A network of hospitals and clinics that, as I said before, exploit at best the capacity of this facility that is not enormous. I mean, it depends on how many rooms, but you go from 500 to 1,000 patients per year. So you need a network to actively select the patients that are indicated for these tumors. A network for research, because there are the need to have a facility that is alive and continuously upgraded, and a network for formation. So for using also this facility as formation for the people, for the young generation, that the 19 disciplines that I was mentioning before. So you don't have to think that this is done only for Montenegro, with money of Montenegro, but for all the region around. In this respect, it would be really an occasion to have something done together in a region that in the past suffered of these problems. It happened already in other occasions. For example, Sesame in Jordan. This was also a project that was born like that, to create the condition to have a community of different states with really big problems, and science and physics and clinics, they work together to put them together, and it succeeded. I mean, they are successful in that. Why not here? In Montenegro, why not?
Centri, kao što je italijanska klinika KNAO, ponudili bi obuku stručnog kadra za rad seista, čime bi značajno skratili period uhodavanja nove ustanove. Evropske klinike spremne su da daju uvid i u svoju strategiju, kao i u terapeutske protokole. Sve to moglo bi da ubrza proces osnivanja seista, jer pokretanje akceleratorskih centara zahtijeva vrijeme.
Look, in KNAO, Ugo Amaldi started in 1991. This was the first paper, and the first paper in Italian was named for a center of teletherapy, 1991. It took the constitution of KNAO Foundation was September 2001, 10 years later. The first patient was treated 2011, 10 years later. So you see, I mean, these are the normal times. And KNAO has had the opportunity also to profit of collaboration of CERN, INFN, Polytechnique, universities. So when you say 10 years for realization, it was basically a prototype. So starting from scratch, from paperwork. Nowadays, maybe you can squeeze a bit the time for the realization if you are very good, 6-7 years, but still that's the order of magnitude. So that's normal. SEIST was born basically formally, first meetings 2017. So the Budva was 2018. So 7 years ago, well, you have still time. And so never give up, insist.